and I don't read newspapers, I don't watch television. I never ever see the replies.
Okay, you just enjoy the entire fact that you've आग लगा दी आपने उसके बाद फिर लपटें आप देखते रहते
My
हैं दूर से
intention is not to put fire, my intention is to express what I felt at that time. Sarkar is a kind of a realistic Superman, to put a wonderful, better word. Sarkar is not Bala Saab's story. Sarkar doesn't have anything to do with Shiv Sena.
Well, we have a celebrity that I'm eagerly looking forward to because he is one person in Bollywood, in the Indian film industry that who's as upfront as possible. You can ask him anything and he'll answer you in that light itself. And he never just comes back to us later, कि यार वो please निकाल देना, because that is one quality about him that I absolutely love. Gopal Varma sir, play having you back on BollywoodHungama. And sir, you seem to be in news consistently. Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy it? The entire...
Actually, I never watch news.
Achha, okay.
So then the question of me being in the news doesn't turn. I don't read newspapers, I don't watch television. I don't ever read the replies to my tweets.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much cut off.
Okay,
so
you don't read the
question
replies.
of me being in the news doesn't
Right.
apply. Yeah.
These days news is more about Twitter actually, because it's social media is something that is
Even on
news in
Twitter,
itself.
I never ever see the replies.
Okay, you just enjoy the entire fact that you've आग लगा दी आपने उसके बाद फिर लपटें आप देखते रहते
My
हैं दूर से
intention is not to put fire, my intention is to express what I felt at that time.
Right.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes ugly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, Sarkar, that's one I think franchise of yours which has a tremendous interest, and both the films have done exceedingly well. Both the films have been really appreciated by the critics and the audience alike. You're having Sarkar 3. Amitabh Bachchan is back. He's looking extremely good. Both the promos, they're looking extremely good as well. One of the questions that comes to my mind is that if maybe you would have released on April 7th, maybe it would have been ideal as well, because it was like a solo release week. Why is it that you wanted to...
See, I somehow honestly do not believe dates make a difference. It can make a difference for the maybe sometimes availability of screens, obviously, because screens are limited depending on that, I mean, common sense tells me either you're interested in the film or not. If you're interested, whichever date it comes, whichever film it comes with, you will see it. If you're not interested, whether it's solo or not, I mean, I don't ever go to see a film just because only that is running. There's too much of choice people have.
Right.
So I feel the emphasis on a so-called perfect date, I think it's highly exaggerated.
It's highly exaggerated.
I think you should just do it when everything is perfectly done. For whatever little hiccups we had in some post-production and all that, we just wanted to make it as perfect as possible before coming.
Right. Okay, now you had 3 films coming on May 12th. Now you're having 2 films. Does that make you feel good? Because obviously you get more screens.
That's exactly my answer what I gave. I believe people, when they see the trailer or whatever the background, in case they're interested in the Sarkar franchise, I think that is what it will make them see the film. So whether 2 films are coming, 1 film is coming, I don't think it makes any difference at all.
It doesn't make a difference. Now, Sarkar 1, Sarkar 2, when it came, Bal Thackeray was alive, now he's no more. Almost everyone has felt that it is the character of Mr. Bachchan is based on Bal Thackeray. Now, how much of the reference point did you have for Sarkar 3, considering that Mr. Thackeray is no more alive, and you're just taking forward the story, and you're saying that that Sarkar is far more dangerous now, far more hungry for blood in a way as well.
See, Fardun, for me, Sarkar is a kind of a realistic Superman, to put a wonderful, better word.
Realistic.
The fact that I'm saying, like a man who you can look up to, a man who can depend upon, a man who can probably come and sort your problems out, or a common man always wants a hero, which is what a concept of a superhero or a Superman comes from, He might not be jumping in the air, he might not do stunts and all that, but with his mind, with his manipulative and cunning and his power of his ruthless decisions, he kind of takes up people's causes and almost runs a parallel system to the establishment.
Right.
So obviously a man like that will have many situations cropping up. So the reference to Bala Saab, even in the original Sarkar, for me was like, if a man like Bala Saab exists, Sarkar also can exist. Now what is Bala Saab? Bala Saab, without any official position or not being representative of winning an election, just as the power of his personality, he had a certain hold over a large mass of people. That is exactly the reference point. But Sarkar is not Bala Saab's story. Sarkar doesn't have anything to do with Shiv Sena. It's got nothing to do with what Bala Sahib actually stood for. So I think the comparison is only to that extent right. So carrying forward the same thing, now there are certain media reports that I took some parts, and just because Sarkar has a grandson, is it Aditya Thackeray and all that?
Amit Sar's character.
Amit Sar's character. Yes, he's a grandson. But you see, if you look at it, there is not a conflict between Aditya Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray or something. So I think it is just a needless comparison. It creates its own world, and except for the reference point, like I said, if at all a man can exist without any power, I mean official power, beyond that I do not think there is any comparison.
Right. Yeah. But you have this dialogue that ek haath mein bhala, ek haath mein
mala.
From what I understand in terms of that it has a bit of socialistic streak to it, which is about the
but which is what Sarkar is about. See, he is nice to
Bal Thackeray was about in a way as well.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not denying that. I'm saying the fact that he can use a threat, sometimes an implied violence, which is what I'm saying when you're running a parallel system, where there is a system, there is a judicial process and all that. But if one man is taking an arbitrary decision based on directly what he feels in his heart, what is right, whether you call it a dictator or a kind of whatever you would like to call, or a gunda element in some sense, all that comes from the same space. So if I am nice to nice people, where the mala comes, and the bala comes when you don't listen to me, I might even do this. Yeah.
Right. Dialogues are very very interesting. They're extremely powerful as well. When you say that बहुत से चूहे जो हैं वो शेर को क्या एक बिल्ली तक को नहीं डरा सकते हैं. It is something which is in many ways it goes very well in terms of the massy audience. People like listening to such dialogues. They like listening to such dialogues and maybe whistling on them, especially in single screens. So who has written the dialogues and how important are these for? Because character is very heavily dependent on what he says and what he believes in.
See, all my scripts, Fardun, whether they're good or bad, actually I write them in English because I think in English, and then I kind of get someone to translate it, and sometimes certain phrases which I'm not very familiar with, I might ask the actors, including Mr. Bachchan. I kind of just take the general content, I'll put the key lines, and I start picking up from various people depending on the situation.
Right. Okay, what exactly is Yami Gautam doing in the movie? Because from whatever we see in the promo, I think she looks very interesting. The way her eyes are communicating and she's having a pistol in her hands. See,
Yami is playing a very interesting role in the sense that she has, if you look at it, both Sarkar and Sarkar Raj, the female characters were mostly functional. They were like playing the role of a wife or a girlfriend or something, not really intricate to the plot, not really integral to the plot, let me put it that way, Whereas here, she has a grey shade, she has some kind of a vengeance against Sarkar for what he has done to her family a long time back. So I thought to put someone who's so pretty and vulnerable and innocent looking girl like Yami in a space like Sarkar, I thought would be very interesting.
Okay, so she's actually trying to take some sort of revenge.
Yeah.
It is also a bit hard to believe when Sarkar says that I've not killed anyone with my own hands for the last 35 years. That's something that people, because all the time the entire dichotomy, that the paradox about Sarkar, that what people perceive about him and what he thinks that he is, there is a paradox. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. But you see,
Rohini has something else to say. Rohini Hatangadi's character, she has something else to say about Sarkar.
Good. See, the point is, the biggest people, the biggest leaders, you'll be surprised to know, very few of them actually indulge in violence or direct violence at best, I would say. It is their thought, it is their people who kind of understand and do the needful. For keeping aside, I would say a Sarkar is more like, for a want of a better word, an enemies might call him a political gangster. He could be involved in politics, but at the same time, if he's using violence outside the acceptable means to the establishment, they are called gangsters, they're called rowdies, they're called whatever name you wish to give them, So I would say that at the top of the group, whoever is, he would never indulge in a direct violence. only it can happen when something extremely personal happens and extremely hurtful, or where his emotions gets provoked to that extent, there where you'll hear this word, I want to kill myself, which means that is an expression of extreme anger. Yeah.
Now, one more thing, as I was telling you before we started the interview, that what I personally found very interesting was, because it's very easy to basically contextualize something maybe in the present format, and to maybe, because it finds resonance with the audience, with what is going on, because these days in many ways news channels, they become like entertainment channels in their own way, and they're having all sorts of high decibel background score, which is as good as like any masala movie in its own right. You don't contextualize the politics of Sarkar, which I found very interesting. That it would have been an easy way out, because he has a stika. He could easily have been like a Hindutva icon, the way Bal Thackeray was, and I think it still is and will always remain. But you don't really get into that he's having any sort of the regular politics which we tend to see. It's more about ideology. It's more about ideology in the sense, in terms of what he believes is right or wrong, and that's how he just functions, which is very interesting actually.
See, I personally, first of all, never thought Sarkar was anything to do with politics. Say, politics by definition is about wanting to attain a position and to rule and to strengthening your party, or all various things. Sarkar is more about an individual's righteousness, which is where the line symbolizes "Mujhe jo sahi lagta hai, main karta hu." Now, why does that happen is only when an existing system sometimes fails to give justice, which is what I put in the opening of Sarkar. When the system fails, power rises. Always, a kind of a rebel attitude in a person comes from a dissatisfaction,
right,
or the establishment's inability to satisfy the people. And nobody actually becomes a leader, because it is only the huge number of people who trust him who make him a leader. A leader by himself cannot become a leader. Then I think, so instead of taking, like what you mentioned, a Hindutva or X or Y, whatever most parties stand for, here I am talking about injustice and justice. I think eventually human beings suffer injustice, and if someone stands up for their cause, he becomes a hero for the people who suffered. Okay, so injustice it can sometimes be rooted in what we are talking about, but most of the time it is to do with the very basic needs like food and shelter. It can't be going really beyond that.
It can't be going beyond that.
Yeah.
So the next segment that we have is basically we're just calling about a few of the Twitter controversies, that since you have said that people can contact you through Twitter, so we just take your that entire aspect, and we just settle once and for all as to what you have to say about that. One of your recent tweets has been that I just got admitted in hospital infected with BB2 gelositis, and I'm glad to see all filmmakers are already admitted and many in ICU. You're talking about Bahubali 2, obviously.
Yeah.
So we'd like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I think jealousy is pretty much a part of human nature. Anybody who says otherwise, I think they'll be lying. See, for example, I think bad reviews are enjoyed by the film industry people the most, as long as the film is not theirs. Because true. I think the nature of human being is that he can't take it if someone else is better. And a Bahubali 2, I think there are no adjectives to describe how much more better it is. So directly, depending on the size of its success, the jealousy degree also is going to be that much more. So when the jealousy reaches an upper point, a certain tipping point, you get infected with a disease called gelositis, and that's what happened to me. But I was glad that I was not the only one, because many people, so obviously it's a funny way of saying everybody around me was only talking about the success of Bahubali 2.
Right, yeah. And people still don't know where it's going to end actually.
Yeah, but see, wherever it's going to end, it eventually is washed out everything.
Absolutely.
So that is already done. Yeah.
But your friend KRK, apparently he is not liked it. He's been rather...
First of all, I don't have friends.
You don't have friends.
So I don't know what very carefully you put in that word, your friend KRK.
Very few people that you actually praise, but you have praised him once in a while. So
yeah, I do. I praise a lot of people, and I criticize a lot of people who are not supposed. If I praise KRK and I criticize Mr. Bachchan also, so that's about me, not about them.
Okay, alright. The second one is no Eid, no Diwali, no Salman, no Amir, no Shah Rukh, and still dubbed film Bahubali 2 opens biggest in history.
Yeah.
SS Rajamouli slaps face of Bollywood. This thing is going on as well, that the movie is doing exceptionally well, which is wonderful. But to just take away the credit or the work done by other people just because of one film doing well, is it?
See, but see, that my point is, see, we are.
Why
we
can't
are
we
so,
celebrate Bahubali 2 instead of
no,
just
my point is,
slapping
we are,
other
see, what did I say? I never said anything about them personally. I'm saying we all believe, entire industry believes it's only big stars who can open. We need a great holiday to get a good week opening day collection. Every rule in the book has been thrown out. Okay, so to bring out that element, I can only do that if I compare with that. Eid ka release hai, Diwali ka release hai, iska release. All the time we hear only that banter in Bollywood. Then he says Salman ka biggest opening, Amir ka ye hai, wo hai. Without any of that, a picture casually releases just like that, a dubbed film. And taking that kind of an opening, unless I give a comparative scale, how does my point come across? It's not about celebrating Bahubali.
Okay.
I meant it to disprove the theories we kind of believe, generally. Yeah.
Like world was divided into BC and AD before death and Christ and after. Indian cinema is going to be BB and AB before Bahubali and after Bahubali. You like coming up with your own acronyms and your own...
But it is the truth, because today, everybody I know, all the big filmmakers are having a rethink about what are the films they are doing, because I mean, the audience have appreciated Bahubali to those kind of mountainous scales. You have no choice but to take that into reference the next time you are planning a film. I mean, if you say I want to make a big film, how the hell can you ignore Bahubali? Because it is miles above anything what we thought of as big so far in the entire Indian film industry.
Right.
So it becomes a benchmark for a reference point if the moment you want to talk about a so-called spectacle or a big ticket film.
Right. If Tiger Shroff openly challenges Vidya Jamwal for a direct real fight, Vidya Jamwal will run away to the Shaolin temple. Now, that's a very interesting sort of tussle that you had recently. And it surprised many that Jackie Shroff is part of your film. He's been part of Rangila as well, and that entire conversation that you had.
I mean, it's a little too complex, that whole thing, what happened. But to give it a rest, I really regret, and I feel terrible even if I irritated or hurt or whatever emotion I caused to Jackie or Tiger or Aisha or anyone. I think it's a very terrible thing I've done. Yeah.
Right, and Tiger is an extremely nice boy, and he's still,
I don't think so. First of all, I don't even know. I sit with Jackie all the time. It is just, I mean, I do this all the time. I do this Pawan Kalyan, I do this with many things. That particular thing, it's something little complex to understand, because there were back and forth conversations between me and Vidyut and X and Y. I think there's a little too personal for me. But the sum total thing, no matter what it caused it, I know, and I don't wish to share it, but I'm terribly apologetic, and I really regret.
And will you be more careful while conversing on telephone?
I know, I am not going to, that's okay, I think that's something we have to live with, that's each person's sensibility.
Right.
And in today's time, there is no such thing as a secret, there is no such thing as anyone can record anything, and it's up to that person's whatever mentality. You can't hold someone. So I don't want to make a comment on how one uses that kind of a thing. You can't really be. But I would like to say I am not going to tweet against any one person which will come across the intention of hurting him. That's one thing I promised myself after this episode with Tiger.
You also said that in a real street fight, I'll bet everything on Tiger Shroff, because I believe he will finish off with the Jamwal with just one single punch. Yeah. Okay, I think let's move on from that. Another one that got you into a bit of a, not bit of a, but quite a bit of a attention, and maybe unwanted attention in a way as well, was I wish all the women in the world give men as much happiness as Sunny Leone gives.
Yeah.
Do you feel a bit vulnerable these days, that these days कोई भी statement जो है उसका इतना ज़्यादा एक forceful reaction?
I think the whole social media and media is constantly looking, they're like hounds looking for morsels of food to make it an event, make it a festival or whatever. Now social media or a Twitter for me is a kind of it can be humorous, it can be sarcastic, it can be spoofy, it can be serious, it can be any emotion at that time. Now it's a given point that why would millions of men watch a sexy woman? It's for happiness, and which proves the point. I mean, in the whole thing.
Right.
Now each individual woman obviously would a girlfriend or a wife would be of so many other shades, so many other things, sometimes nagging, sometimes X, sometimes Y, which everyone complains about. So it was said in fun, it was said in a certain spirit.
Right.
You know, but that to be taken so serious as a gospel truth, I'm trying to compare one with somebody else.
Right.
I think it's
threats of just banning your film. These days, I think that has become quite.
I mean, that's a threat of banning. I think they do
you had the
20 times
altercation with
a
that
day.
politician, NCP politician, I believe you had.
Yeah, I don't know what his name. Yeah, correct. Whatever it is.
Yeah,
You know. So the point is, everyone on a Twitter becomes a hero. You know, because it's an anonymity. You don't need to go really there, and you can express anything. I can sit here in Bombay and talk about Donald Trump.
You're still a fan of Donald Trump? You're not. Apparently, you've
not now.
changed your thoughts.
Yeah.
So we're on the same,
After once he became president, I
same
lost
page
interest.
now. Yeah. Okay. You feel that he won't use a nuclear bomb anymore? That's what your fascination was.
I don't think so.
You don't think
It's
so?
not my fascination, it was a joke, but I don't think so.
Okay, that was the off-camera. I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Okay, so coming back to Sunny Leone, you know, since you know that we have a history.
Yeah.
I was the one who actually gave your
Yes.
message to Sunny Leone, and she
The autograph.
she just autograph. She gave an autograph to you as well. So she is a wonderful woman. She is a beautiful woman as well, and she is desirable as well. So there's no harm, I believe that. But आजकल जो है आपकी feelings को, do you feel that it's more the minds of people are more polluted and vulgar than what many times is said? Because
Yeah, I mean, see, first
I
of
don't know
all,
how
the way
people are
using
born,
the word people, I
How
think,
people
is
are.
little generalized. You know, I would say.
quite a few people.
Yeah,
I'll say.
I mean, I would say. I mean, I'm saying, see, that again is my opinion. I mean, each person has a different sensibility from your background, where you come from, the way you think, what books you've read, what you experienced, and your mindset. The five people sitting in this room can think completely differently in 5 different ways.
Absolutely.
So the same thing extends to, and so that is why when you see in the social media, for the same tweet, you see opposite reactions.
Yeah, that's true.
That itself is an indication of how different people think and perceive.
Right.
But the point is, I love this. I love this one line of Benjamin Franklin. He said, "I might not agree with what you say, but I'll fight till my death for your right to say it." That's what the
Freedom of
greatness
expression.
of democracy and freedom of expression
Freedom
and
of
choice is
expression.
about. Yeah.
So you had reservations
So I
about.
think you can express an opinion, you can tell your reasons for your disagreement, but just ranting and raving in foul language is not going to make any difference to anybody.
Absolutely, you had your reservations and you spoke
Yeah.
in very, I think, in an outrageous tone when the entire episode with Sanjay Leela Bhansali happened as well. We're talking about freedom of expression right now. Do you find it revolting, something like this?
I do. I mean, I see the moment you're talking
You're not
about
like a huge Sanjay Leela
resorting
Bhansali
to,
fan, so that
is not the point. That is not at all an
because
issue.
then it becomes more honest. Because Bollywood में क्या होता है ना, that एक सब herd mentality होती है कि यार वो camp इस वक्त हमें
Yeah.
support करेंगे तो बाद में फायदा होगा.
See,
That happens.
my point is the beauty of any advanced country is democracy, you know, where you can speak your mind. Whether someone agrees or disagrees, or how many people connect or not, is up to their choice. And in that kind of a sense, to use the threat of violence and intimidation to suppress someone else's act, I think that goes to, I mean, medieval days, the tribal culture. I mean, so that itself is a sign of ultimate regression in a society, which is what I reacted in that sense.
Okay, now you have a movie coming up. We don't want to press you further. You will say something, and we don't want stuff happening to you. Sir, once and for all, Sunny Leone's birthday is coming up. You want to wish her? You don't believe in birthdays, but she's a beautiful woman. I'm sure that
Yeah.
you can wish her.
Hi Sunny, I just hated that you're having a birthday, because someone as beautiful as you should stay young forever, and your birthday reminds me that you're going to become 1 year older, and I hate it, and I hate God for that.
Happy birthday.
But having said all this, I wish you a very happy birthday.
There can't be a more unique birthday wish than that. Actually, thank you very much, sir. Okay. One last thing is, sir, one last tweet. Can someone tell me how anyone can have a happy new year when they still have the same old wife, friends, girlfriends,
yeah.
bosses and employees?
Yeah.
You say things which are very logical,
Yeah.
but people find it like, how can anyone be logical?
See, I mean, in a similar way, someone was telling me that I'm going for a holiday with my family.
Ji.
So going along with your family, how can that be a holiday? I said. If you wake up with the same people, you see the same faces, and how does a location change make any difference?
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's in the same
Context.
context. I just don't understand. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And I wish you Happy New Year. I wish you all prosperity. And I'll tell you, Fardun, suddenly if you say I wish you all prosperity and somebody gives me 10 crores, you will regret it the most.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं.
अरे यार मेरा भी सच हो गया.
नहीं,
Let me
ऐसा-
take, but now then you do.
ऐसा
I mean,
कुछ नहीं. Trust
see,
me,
why does everybody give lots of love?
Lots
Because
of
love is cheap. You don't lose. Yeah, you don't lose it. At the end, if you have lots of love for me, give me some money, no?
Give me some.
They
Yeah,
won't,
that is-
because
yeah.
money is not cheap. Love is cheap.
Love is.
Point is proved.
But I think actually you, in a way, contradicted yourself. You actually celebrated your birthday this year. You actually sent me a message
I
for
did.
your birthday.
Yes.
So you contradicted. You never
No,
believed in
yeah,
birthdays.
but see, the point is, first of all, I never keep my word. I change from. I told you, I change from minute to minute. So I said that in a certain life,
Right.
some 10 births back.
Right.
This I'm saying another birthday. Yeah.
In another word, we've actually interviewed him on his birthday once, actually, in your older office. So we have one more segment. I think you're the only one that we can play it with.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're calling it RGV Trolls Back the Trolls. So basically, these are a few trolls, and they have certain nasty things to say about you. And what do you have to say to them? If you want to say to them in words, that is wonderful. If you want to say to them in expressions, that's even better. If you want to show them middle finger, we don't mind that either. We are against censorship of any sort, so we'll carry that. All right. So this is Shamrita Freak. And she says that, and please don't even mention RGV. He is a drunkard who says things about every human being. We hate him and we love you, she has said to someone.
We hate him and we love. I didn't understand the
I
last
think
part.
basically she's addressing it to someone else. And yeah.
Okay, so to about someone else. Okay.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I think I just feel I hate myself more than she hates me. So that's okay. So we're on the same page, both me and her.
Okay, you hate yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I love it. I love my hate.
You love my. You love your hate. So this is Vijay.
And you see, for me, it's like, I actually love it when people troll me in the nastiest language, because it reminds me of that line from Shola's Gabbar Singh, De jitni kali Thakur, jeevar kali de. And he's relishing the way Sanjeev Kumar is talking, because I love to provoke that irritation, I love to provoke that anger, I love to provoke that emotion, because most of the time they're so bored, and if not in my films, at least I'm entertaining them through my tweets.
No, I'm sure that Sarkar 3, they will be entertained thoroughly. This is Vijay, and he says that RGV daily activity. This is how he sums up your daily activity. 1, doing shit films. 2, praising other directors' films. 3, commenting celebrities personally without sense.
He only knows 3. Actually, I have 100 more.
100.
But since the interview has limited time, but all 3 are right.
All 3 are right?
Yeah.
So you don't have anything to say to him?
But I'm just glad that he doesn't know the other 97 things.
Okay, this is Just Saying, MARIRSC, saying that if Rajamouli concentrated on Twitter like you, he would have remained regional. He became international because he didn't talk less, work more.
Okay, I am really thank you for the advice you've given me, and my advice to you is to unfollow me and use that time for better things for yourself, where you can probably even become maybe 1% of me.
Wow, that's, I think, very well said. Okay, in fact, we spoke to Manoj Bajpayee a few days back, and he was very excited about the fact that he's part of the film, and you guys have had a bit of a history, but he was really excited about the fact that he's part of it, and what he was very grateful to the way you have been part of his journey in terms of Satya especially. This is Sly Shoaib, shivering cause another flop movie from a flop director, Gopal Varma, is coming soon.
I mean, more or less, my earlier answer would be the same. I think
1% of
yeah. See, most of the people who told me, I just don't understand why they follow me. And one funny thing I noticed about the trollers, if you go into their account, they actually troll everyone. They don't have any favorites.
Right.
Each of us will read only our trolls and we think we are being trolled.
Right.
That
They
is
have
the,
a lot
that
of
is the
time
biggest
wasted.
secret of, they do nothing in life.
They do nothing and they have a lot of time.
The very fact that who they hate they want to follow itself proves my point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is Harihar Goswami, and what I really love about you, love about you is that you were once a filmmaker.
I mean, see, I really don't know how to react to that. I mean, but all of them, for me, it is the same thing. I mean, see, all of them have one common thing.
Right.
They're not interested in me or my films. So then, why should they follow? So what else can I say? I can't say no. I'm actually a good filmmaker now. Also, I can't say that. Or if I say I'm anyway endorsing. My whole point is trawlers, first of all, have no business to follow who they don't like. Which means they're just doing it for their own satisfaction, which doesn't make jack shit, except for people to be entertained, to read that. Yeah.
Right. Okay, this is Cinema Payyan. Thank God filmmaking became digitized. All the film RGB wasted would have gone as toilet paper.
Yeah, see, all of them I feel this is the same answer. I'm really not able to come up with something.
Okay, this is interesting. This is Rupesh Sai. Dear RGB, we know you're the first person who will troll the famed persons and using it for your publicity. Stop playing your cheap tricks. It is also said that you tweet many a times to just create publicity and to just create controversy so that you can be talked about.
See, first of all, I don't understand this whole job. I mean, anybody with half a brain will understand a film eventually is going to be seen by anybody on the planet on the face of the earth because they like the content, they like the trailer, they liked maybe an actor sometimes or something like that. Why would anybody watch a film just because somebody is in publicity which is unconnected to the film? Did you ever meet such an idiot in your life? Yeah. So what is that? They've got to do with it. I think there's a completely separate thing. If a tweet for me is like an expression, like I can talk to you here, I can say it to a friend, I can say it to a group, or I can put it on the Twitter. I don't think there's any relationship between a film and just to be on the so-called news for a controversial tweet.
This is Rapt Observer, and he says that I think men like you should stop fishing for controversies, at least on International Women's Day, and we need to no favors from men today. Do you feel that this entire some people have become too aggressive in the name of feminism?
I feel
these
social
days?
media, all thing is like it's just graffiti on walls. It's like what they write on bathroom walls. I don't think it amounts to anything beyond that. You know, and the language they use or whatever, I don't think it even represents their emotion. Because anyone who really has that emotion will do something constructive with regard to that instead of just writing it and forgetting it in the next 1 minute. You know?
Okay, one last. It is let's see how you react to that. This is Saurav Vyas, and he says that RGB dictionary, heart means boobs and mind means hips.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't say.
Yeah.
Okay. These days, even if you react to something like that, उसमें मतलब मैं भी लपेटे में आ सकता हूँ, तो इस वजह से I just keep quiet. So we'll have just one last segment, that is something that you were super hit at, and that is like rapid fire with Gopal Varma. So it's time for rapid fire with Gopal Varma. A celeb you wish should have been a part of Sarkar 3. Do you feel that any celebrity should have been part of Sarkar 3?
I mean, some other actor?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Last time you had a dream about a Bollywood actress. Who was the actress and what was the dream? Would you like to share?
No.
You don't dream at all?
No.
About Bollywood actresses, you don't?
No.
Alright, okay. Yoga pants or short skirts, your preference? Do you have a preference between yoga pants?
I mean, I really don't know much about clothes. I rather look at women without clothes. So I don't even know what they are.
Okay. Naughtiest thing that you've ever done, sir? What is the naughtiest thing?
Naughtiest thing? I think only do naughty things. So I don't have a naughtiest thing. I'm not able to think of anything.
Do you feel that being naughty, it keeps you young as well? Do you feel vibrant because of that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay. Which upcoming Bollywood film you think will break the record set by Bahubali? Do you think any film can break the record?
I think Bahubali 3.
Bahubali 3.
If he makes it, or the next film made by Rajamouli.
Next film by Rajamouli.
Yeah.
Do you think he should make Bahubali 3? Can it be a franchisee? Do you think that? Because it seems that it's complete now.
Yeah, it's complete. I don't think so. I meant more
And
as
he's
an
not
as
that
his
sort of
next
director
film.
actually. He's not that sort of filmmaker in the first place. He's
Like
not
what?
driven by money. He's that's
Of course not.
I
I think any
wrong.
passionate filmmaker, I don't think is driven by money.
Hottest and sexiest actress in India right now.
I don't think so. I have any one.
But maybe 2 or 3 if you want to name.
No, not really. I think Katrina.
Katrina Kaif.
Katrina Kaif. Yeah.
Okay, and she was part of Sarkar.
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever dated 2 women at the same time?
No.
You haven't? You're like a one-woman man?
No. I did multiple women.
Multiple women at the same time. I thought that you're a one-woman man. I was wrong. Okay, who's the powerhouse of talent from the current slot?
You see, I think after seeing Bachchan, no one really stands. Power. I mean, I don't know what you mean by that. In terms of sheer intensity and holding power on the camera, I can't think of anyone who comes close to Bachchan.
Okay, girls with makeup or none at all?
None.
None at all.
Yeah.
I think that's more like your slightly overweight or slightly underweight. Your preference in women. You like it?
I like women with a lot of curves.
You like?
Yeah. I don't like this model type.
You don't like
skinny, body type.
If you ever remake 50 Shades of Grey in India, who will play the roles of Christian Grey and Anastasia Steele?
I don't like that film.
You didn't like that
Yeah.
film? Okay. But would you like to make something like Nishabd once again? I was talking to Sunil Shetty 3 days back, and he said that he wouldn't want to romance any more actresses, and he would like to. But he at the same time said that he would want to just base his career or something on the lines of Amitabh Bachchan in terms of longevity. So I told him that he has done like something like a Nishabd. So wouldn't you? Because I think that's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
An older woman and a much younger
Yeah.
woman. People may not agree to that, but it's something that older people, they definitely have a lot of sentiments and emotions as well. So can we have something like that coming from you in the future?
I mean, nothing is not
Nishabd, I
really
think,
there
sir, it
in
was
my
a good
head
film.
right now.
I think it was a really nicely, the visuals in Kerala were very, very nicely shot. Some of the scenes between Jia and
Yeah.
Mr. Bachchan were very realistic and wonderfully picturized as well. Can we have something on those?
I mean,
lines?
I don't have it right on the top of my head, but those kind of subject matters genuinely interest me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, Mr. Varma, it was a pleasure talking to you as always. It was wonderful, and thank you for being forthright and candid as always. All the best wishes for Sarkar 3. We're looking forward to that. And what is it that you're doing next after this?
I'm doing a film with Abhishek Bachchan called Arrest.
I believe you're supposed to start this month itself.
Yeah, sometime soon.
You're starting
So,
soon.
yeah.
And what about Vivek's film? You're doing a film with Vivek?
No, that's going to take some time.
Okay. So, what exactly is Arrest all about? And
It's something to do with special investigation teams and courts, and it has a cop element to it, but it's not like a traditional cop film.
why do you think Amitabh Bachchan is the greatest actor ever as far as
For me, I actually got attracted to the world of cinema because of when I watched Amitabh Bachchan when I was a film watcher in the theatre like Zanjeer, Trishul, etc. and all that. And I learned a lot about the medium just studying his performances, the way he speaks dialogue and the way he can hold his pauses and things like that. And probably for the first time in Indian cinema, we saw a person playing a character instead of just wearing clothes and changing goggles and things like that. You can feel a consistency. You don't know if Amaragva Anthony guy and the Shakti guy are the same. I mean, in fact, the diversity is enormous in terms of that. So I think that kind of a versatility I have not seen, and that is not a joke considering for more than 30 years I've been watching him, and he still managed to surprise, whereas I can't think of a single actor. Others could have become big stars, fair enough, and have their immense popularity and all that. But for me, both as a filmmaker and a film watcher, I did not see anyone who can be anywhere coming near to his pace. That is the reason I think is the greatest actor.
Monica is saying you are one of my favorite directors. She's calling from Italy.
I think maybe she's mistaking me for Karan Johar.
Okay, thanks for giving us our angry man once again. This is Manoj Ratan is saying. Thanks for giving us our. He's looking like that angry. In fact, you had those issues with when he made Buddha Ho Tera Baap, and you said that why is Amitabh Bachchan not doing these sort of films more often?
Yes. I think even I myself had failed after creating Sarkar to make him in films like Run and Nishabd, where though he's performed fantastically, I feel he's made to create an impact on a big screen, a kind of a awe-inspiring effect. And I think I just tried my best to cover those flaws and take him back with a much more renewed impact in Sarkar 3.
So when you're recording, when you're dubbing Amitabh Bachchan, because his voice, the baritone, it looks so good, and even in the Sarkar promos, that baritone, the way he's saying it, that anger that is coming out, that entire venom that is coming out, that is beautifully done. What sort of preparations do you guys do for dubbing, and how important is dubbing of Amitabh Bachchan?
To start with, I think dubbing is a very small word. Dubbing, actually we use it nowadays only if there is some noise on the location where we are shooting. Pretty much
it is sing sound?
Sing sound, yeah. Mostly it is sing sound. In fact, for Sarkar 3, I don't think we have dubbed more than around maybe 10 to 15% of Bachchan's dialogue.
One question, who do you think is the finest actor amongst Dharmendra ji and Amit ji? Who do you look up to as inspiration? Anand Bole.
See, I wouldn't like to take the name of another person to kind of demean, but I think if only you're talking, screen presence is different, star quality is different, and per se, acting is different. You know? Like earlier what I was mentioning, I don't think there's anyone in comparison to Amitabh Bachchan.
There's no one comparison to. Okay, now this entire comparisons that happen all the time with the part 1 and part 2. Are you ready for the comparisons with Sarkar 1? Because both the films they were really appreciated. Sarkar 2 was appreciated maybe more than Sarkar 1. And it came at a very crucial time in your career as well, when you actually wrote back to the critics on your blog, and that was very interestingly done.
And it's not for me to say how it will compare, because obviously I feel the scale is far more bigger and the situations are more complex, and the relatability of the emotions, I think, far more in Sarkar 3 from my perception and from my intention. So how much of it translated, how much of it is going to be liked in what way, I think that's not for me to say.
Okay, and which are your all-time favorite Amitabh Bachchan films? Like if top 5 you have to name, so
I think Zanjeer, Zanjeer definitely, Diwar of course, and Amar Akbar Anthony, and Trishul and Shakti.
Trishul and Shakti. Nothing from say 90s or maybe like say 2000. Anything that comes to your mind? He had like Agnipath.
Post 2000. I mean, the only film I liked is Sarkar, actually. I think, including my films, I'm talking, what I've done with him, I'm talking about, yeah.
What was your experience of meeting Amitabh Bachchan for the very first time, sir? When you met him for the very first time? Consider that you're a huge fan. You've written about it in your autobiography as well.
First time I met him was, the producer arranged a trial of my first film, Shiva, where he came to see the film in a Bombay theatre. He came straight from the shooting of Shahenshah. And he actually came in the costume of Shahenshah. I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first time actually I met him. That is very hello, not more than that. And then later on he came to see Satya.
Okay.
Much later. And then we started talking once in a while. And then in the making of Nach, his first time, when I told Abhishek I want to meet Amitji to narrate this film called Sarkar.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So any more films lined up with Amitabh Bachchan? Because the way Sarkar 3 is looking like, he is in top form. I think he's looking really good.
I mean, right now we're talking about a couple of ideas, and it is not because all of us are so busy in Sarkar 3 right now, but yeah, definitely there'll be something.
All right, so thank you very much. And anything generally you don't like saying that why people should watch Sarkar 3, but still, you want to say anything on Sarkar 3 to people who watch?
I mean, I hate asking someone to do anything, because they will make up their mind. They're not idiots to listen to me and watch something just because I ask them to do it.
Right.
But I can only say the difference in Sarkar 3. I feel like earlier said, it's got an amazing performance by Mr. Bachchan, and a set of very interesting characters, and people who like intense dramas, absolutely with no relief, no comedy, no item songs or anything. I think they would enjoy it, I would think.
There's no song at all?
No. There's a Ganpati Aarti song which Aminji sang. Except for that, there's no song.
There's no song at all, okay. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Lovely having you on this Facebook Live, and all the best wishes for Sarkar 3. We genuinely hope that it's like a huge success and people would just watch it again and again. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.